Hello, Gaming Source nerds, and welcome to Gaming Source Network, your number one source for all things gaming. This is the GSN Roundtable, and we are back. My name is Scarlett, and with me, I have Dan, master of all things coding. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Scarlett. How are you doing?
Doing pretty darn good. I am so glad that we are back in at this. We were supposed to have Lee with us tonight. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather, and also it's his wife's birthday, so happy birthday, Lee's wife.
Priorities. Happy birthday.
Yeah. We love having all of you here with us live and love it even more when you're part of the conversation. So please don't forget to say hi in chat, drop a super chat or super sticker just to see us gushing our gratitude. You can also join GSN right here on YouTube. Members get fun perks like cool emojis for all members, shout outs for silver members, and direct answers to any of your chat questions for gold members. And please be sure to check out our Patreon for the Platinum membership, where you can get access to exclusive GSN merchandise. Hi, guys.
That was my cue.
Yeah. Haha. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Who we got in here with us so far? We got Geek. What's up? We got
Hello.
In Lead. Hey. We got Says. Chez.
Yeah. I think it says
Villanueva. Excellent. And we've got I Can't See. Thanks
That's
for
Charles.
being
Hello.
here. So Dan, how's it been? What's been up? What you been gaming, Stadia or otherwise?
What have I been playing? I've been playing quite a lot of Rocket League Sideswipe on my phone.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. I mean, obviously, Rocket League is a massive game anyway. But I don't know. I just find the fact that I can play it on my mobile, although it's 2D. It's just addictive. Like I just found myself playing like an hour's worth at a time, and then it kills my battery, and I have to plug it in, and then my hands hurt because I'm holding my phone like that. It's
well,
just
remember
so
how
addictive.
Pokemon Go made everybody start buying battery packs for their phones?
How's that for a
batch? The key, though, is remembering to recharge the battery pack.
Oh, this one has about 4 charges worth in it. There's an extra thing, so you can charge your phone about 4 times off it. So
that's pretty handy.
Just walking around with a massive brick in your pocket is not the best of things.
They started making them as like actual cases too for your phone, so it was just like a really
thick
for your phone. Never did that. Just decided to gripe about lack of battery. So I have been busy working, obviously. Revamping graphics once again. So everybody's going to be enjoying some more graphics for 2022.
The thing about your graphics is like you can make something that's amazing, and then like you think there's no way you could possibly beat that, and then you go make something better. It's like, where is the limit? You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks.
I mean, it has to be said.
I'm just trying new styles. I think that's what's fun, is trying to keep it fresh. But I have actually been able to play a little bit. My husband and I have been trying out It Takes Two on Xbox Game Pass. And I'm not convinced about it being Game of the Year. I think it has some really cute concepts, and I love all the different styles of gaming that go into it. Like at one point you're even doing a dungeon crawler, like overhead type view of your characters, and I think that's a lot of fun. But I'm so sick of the bickering and the constant anger. And like the lady is just a total rat on her husband. Though she gets like the coolest gear. She gets like the bazooka and she gets the flaming sword. I'm like, I'm all for this. But we play for like an hour or two, and afterwards we're just exhausted because we're so tired of these people arguing with each other.
Do you have to play it with someone else? Or is there like an AI that controls the second player?
I don't know. We haven't tried it as single player. I do know that you can do local, so it's couch co-op, or you can do an online co-op. So I don't know if they have an I don't know. Does anybody in the chat know if there's like an AI if you try to play the game by yourself? Please let us know.
I guess, I mean, judging by what I saw, it looks pretty complicated for an AI to kind of know what you're going to do and coordinate with you. So
yeah, and there's some bits too where you have to be like super quick about it. I don't know. I feel like if you have Game Pass, then you just you automatically have access to online playing, so you might as well just play with someone online.
Is it on Game Pass then?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it was also on sale for like $13 the other day through PlayStation. But it's on Game Pass, so we're like, well, we'll just play it on there.
I'll have to play it
Um,
now.
yeah, so Rooster's saying that he has heard that you do need two real people, and that would make sense. And I actually kind of like that. It's a little bit unique because when you get games where there's two players, you don't very often get couch co-op games anymore. But when you get two games, there's usually some kind of AI for the second person. Yeah, I don't know. Force one of your neighbors to come over and be like, "You're playing my Xbox with me." Yeah.
We've got
So,
Mr. Urban World in here as well. How you doing?
and Brayden as well. I showed you guys the stuff. Brayden's actually from Facebook. Hello.
Hello.
And I also have been trying to slowly get back into Phoenix. So that's been good. Immortals Phoenix Rising. Finishing that up. So that's been fun. But anywho, enough about us. Let's get to some of the news. We've had various news, and as you guys know, we also have, speaking of Stadia, who's part of GSN, so they cover a lot of the usual Stadia news. So we're just going to kind of get into some of the things were kind of like highlights. We'll go into some GeForce Now stuff as well, and then some general things just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing. And yes, believe it or not, the hot topic is back. So then we'll move into the hot topic. But to start us off, so a couple of really cool things that are going on with Stadia right now is that PUBG is actually now free to play. No pro membership needed. There have been some free to play games on Stadia in the past. I think only one other one has had no need for a pro membership. But the rest of them, you have had to have the pro subscription, the $10 a month option or whatever it is. So I think this is actually really good because Stadia needs to get into letting people know about the free stuff on Stadia as a platform, because unfortunately you have to have a credit card just to even play, which is kind of ridiculous because if you're just trying to get people to realize that the platform works, you're barring off a ton of people who don't want to put in their card, because that's the trap, right? Is they're like, oh, well, oops, I got charged this month, whatever.
Yeah.
So with PUBG now being fully free to play, though, this is going to bring in a lot of new. I think this would bring in a lot of new players as well as a lot of new interest to the game itself. How do you feel about this, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's not just free to play on Stadia as well, it's gone like free to play everywhere, which means there's going to be more players all around, given that there's obviously cross play on Stadia as well. So not only do we get more Stadia players because it's free for Stadia players, and we also get other consoles playing as well. So it's just brilliant news all around. And a game like PUBG, I mean, yeah, it might not be as popular as Fortnite, although, you know, I mean, it's up there in the same kind of genre. We've got Destiny 2, obviously, as well. The more free games that they bring to Stadia, the better. And obviously, like, I don't know if I remember in this rightly, but didn't they ditch the need for a credit card to begin with, or halfway through or something, and then brought it back?
I mean, unless that has changed in like the last couple of weeks, but in the last couple of weeks, I've even seen people complain about it on Twitter that they've been trying to get their friends to come on and play, but all their friends are like, no, it's asking for my credit card.
It might have been one of Jem's little hacks or something to get around it, but I'm pretty sure at one point there was a way of doing it without, but then I think they brought it back.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I understand it from a business point of view. Don't get me wrong. When it comes to a subscription model, you want people to forget that they're subscribed. There's actually now an app for helping people keep track of everything that they're subscribed to, and also gives them a way to easily unsubscribe from everything, because unsubscribing from things is like death sometimes, because you have to like click 50 different buttons, and sometimes they make the button green. That's actually the go back button. And so they try to
sure that you're not sure that you're sure that you want to leave?
Exactly. Not have been. So I get from the business point of view, you want them to put in their credit card because you want them to, you know, fall into the trap of at least paying for 1 month because they forgot that their card was on there and they didn't put a reminder to unsubscribe. But at the same time, if you're just trying to get Stadia into the hands of people, you got to get rid of this. And maybe instead, after a month, you're like, hey, you've been experiencing for 1 month everything that comes with Pro, the 4K streaming, whatever various things, you know, the free game access. This month, this is now going, like in 2 days, this is now going away. If you would like to keep it, please enter your credit card information so that we can get you subscribed. And I think that would actually go over a lot better because then it gives people that whole month of not having to worry. And then they're like, ooh, okay. Oh, only $10 to keep it for next month. And I'm like in the middle of a game. Sure, why not?
I mean, I got 3 months of YouTube Premium, which I knew I didn't want to keep after those 3 months. I was just going to use those 3 months. I'm pretty sure you can cancel it as soon as you sign up. And because you've effectively paid that first month, whether you got it as a deal or not, you know what I mean? You obviously, they honor that month. And then because you've cancelled it straight away, it doesn't renew. So that might be, I don't know whether you can do that for Stadia because I've obviously not unsubscribed from Stadia Pro since Stadia came out, but there might be something, you have to provide, you know what I mean, the first month's upfront or something, but then just cancel it straight away.
Well, and unfortunately, there's subscription models are getting smarter about this too, where you cancel it and so then it's done at the end of that day, even if you had like another 3 or 4 days left in your free trial. I know, I'm pretty sure it was Paramount Plus that did that to us. And again, from a business point of view, it makes perfect sense, which is why we got to stop demanding a credit card from the beginning. If you actually want people to come in and experience the full value of something, you can't charge them access at the gate.
See, here's a little hack for some people that have got, like, for example, Monzo, the banking app. And I know a lot of other banks are doing this now as well, but you can actually create virtual cards, which expire after a certain time or even immediately. So you could technically sign up with one of those virtual cards and then just cancel the virtual card straight away. So when it tries to bill you, it just can't because you deleted it. So that's one of the things I've used in the past for things.
There you go. So try it out, guys. So another fun thing is that 100 Days, the winemaking sim game, has added touch controls. Like true touch controls is my understanding, not just like an
on-screen.
The on-screen controller, but true touch controls. I think this is kind of neat because true mobile gaming has been for the last couple of years and is continuing to grow. I mean, we saw Candy Crush is still like king. Haha. That's kind of funny because that's the developer is king. But Candy Crush is still king in mobile gaming, even though it's been around for years. And you have Fortnite on phones and you've got Among Us on phones, and true touch control mobile gaming opens up a larger audience. You know, somebody forgot their controller at home. That's okay. It's got touch control. Or somebody wants their friend to play, you know, here's my phone. It's okay. It's got touch control. I'm going to dive a little bit further into mobile gaming in a minute, but have you tried out the touch control? I know that Andrew, our gaming CPA, he has live streamed it, I believe, and he has tried it out. Have you tried it out at all?
I have not actually played 100 Days. I don't even know if I own it, to be fair. It's not really my sort of game.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to kind of add as well. I know you said we'll touch on these things later. It's funny how two of the things that you just mentioned kind of lead into things that we're going to be talking about later.
Yep.
Which we will come back to. But yeah, it's just one more way to play. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not just an on-screen keyboard, on-screen touch controls. It's actually you can touch and interact as if it was a native mobile game. And again, I'm trying not to kind of use up too many of my points that I might want to use on one of the later topics as well. So I'll probably go down the route of saying that we've got a few games now with touch controls. I believe that 2 of the Jackbox party packs have touch controls as well. I don't actually know whether that was advertised quite widely or not, because I guess that some of the type of games that you find on there, you know what I mean, required touchscreen. But I also want to allude to something that I saw on Twitter from our old friend Adam, Original Penguin, who seemed to be hinting that there may be another game that might be receiving touchscreen controls as well. And I think himself, John Scar, VV Plays, they all kind of dropped hints that alluded to it came from space and ate our brains. That's my guess. I don't know. They're being very secret about it.
That title still makes me chuckle.
But yeah, they kept highlighting in bold the words brain, space, and something else. I can't remember.
All right,
brains or something.
Keep an eye out for that, friends. If you are a fan of the game and you play it, I mean,
assuming it is that game,
if it came to every game, whether I played it or you played it or the majority of people play it or not, like it opens up a whole new audience who enjoy playing on their phones, and that's nothing but good news in my opinion. So they want to put it on It Came From Space and Ate Our Brains. If they want to put it on Cake Bash, still love that game. If they want to put it on Immortals Phoenix Rising, which would be impossible, but if they wanted to do it, let them do it.
Yeah, so games like Monopoly, games like that would benefit greatly from it as well.
Or shoot, even Cake Bash, Monopoly, Uno. Wait, does Uno have touch control?
No.
Huh.
But yeah, absolutely. The games like that would work well good with it. So,
indeed. All right, so moving on, we got a little bit of GeForce Now stuff to talk about. Specifically, Fortnite has entered a limited time beta for the GFN Android app, and also on iOS, according to our good friend Felix, aka Ftendo, who is our GFN person on the team. And I'm pulling up his notes, so I'm sorry if I'm like looking down. I'm trying to find his notes, guys. I promise I'm not just like scrolling my phone. Somewhere in here. Where did he put it? Threads.
Well, this kind of ties into what we were just talking about in terms of touch-friendly games on GeForce Now as well.
Tell them that about NVIDIA and what they said there.
You
have the show notes, don't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the fact that Fortnite's been removed from like the Google Play Store and the App Store on Apple for quite a while. So this is kind of like GFN's bringing it back to the phone, which I don't know how Apple would feel about that. I'm guessing there's not really much they can do in Google Play, but it is what it is. Yeah. So if you've been missing playing it on your phone, then now is your opportunity to do so again.
Yeah, and so NVIDIA has confirmed that this is just the beginning for touch-friendly games on GFN as well. Which, again, if we're going to be inviting in a whole other audience of gamers, reach those mobile gamers. So we've got a little bit of feedback from Felix, who has given some of his feedback on how it runs on iOS compared to the native iOS version, etc. Let's see here. He says that the graphics are a little washed out, but compared to the native iOS version of Fortnite, GFN Fortnite, so GFN app Fortnite, there we go, runs really nice. I'm not sure if this is the PC version or if they ported the mobile version over. Touch controls are very responsive, but button configuration is very similar to the native mobile version. He also tried it with his Kishi Razer, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah, playing with The controller feels identical to the way it did on Fortnite Mobile. Very responsive. I believe this is Fortnite Mobile that was ported. The reason I believe that is because when you close GFN and reopen the game, it brings you right back into the lobby but doesn't reset the game. Last night I finished a match, and this morning I went to GFN and opened up Fortnite, and it brought me right back to the lobby. So I wonder if this is a sign of GFN suspending a game, or if this is just a fluke because it's the mobile version. So just a little bit of interesting feedback from Felix there. I think it's cool.
Does that mean that GFN kept his session open all night then? Because I thought you connect to like a different...
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what they do on the back end. I know nothing about hardware and how to run a service like that. So
there's me thinking you were the expert.
Well, we all know the truth. Fortnite is huge though. So having it be the beta for the GFN app, I think makes a lot of sense. You get a wide range of users from age to gender to whatever. You also get a wide variety of locations playing it. So I think it's great. Plus, my bookness coming in here, the fact that there's a Kelsier skin in Fortnite, just everybody needs to play it, and everybody needs to learn who Kelsier is so that everybody becomes a Mistborn fan, so that Mistborn becomes a video game. Okay, that's my plug.
Do it now.
Yes. I don't know. Chat, any questions you got about that? Just please let us know. Anything that you want to add on top of this. I mean, that's really it. There's a limited time beta. If you have access to the beta, awesome. Tell us your thoughts on Twitter, tag us, and let us know your feelings on it. More touch-friendly games coming to GFN. Yay!
Let us know if you have any predictions as to which games you think might be coming to touchscreen GFN, or the games that you'd want to come.
Yes. Let us know. Tag us everywhere. So on to some general gaming kind of news. PlayStation's Spartacus, which is the potential contender for Game Pass and is considered a bit of a blend of PS Now and PS Plus, is kind of making a bit of headway here. Sony has now pulled all of the PS Now cards from the UK store, which is funny because a few months ago, nobody really gave a rip that this happened in the United States, but it's happening in the UK and everybody's freaking out. So you guys need to chill.
I'm not.
So a lot of people are thinking that this means Spartacus is coming soon. I definitely agree that more platforms need something similar to Game Pass. PS5 has a very rich history of single-player, story-heavy games that lots of people have missed out on. So I'd love to see the PS5 have something like Game Pass that people can then go back and play things like Jack and Daxter, Nathan Drake, all of that. People already have Horizon Zero Dawn. They got that free during the free-to-play, free days of play, whatever it was called back in the summer, where Sony was giving, PlayStation was just giving out some games for free to help people kind of, ride through COVID. So I think this is cool. I really hope that this is a very serious contender to Game Pass because PlayStation needs something like this. Seeing the huge value that comes, especially in Game Pass Ultimate, and having been a fan of it since we've started using it, which was when we got our Xbox. So I guess, there's that.
I literally only got Game Pass so that I could play Back 4 Blood on the Xbox.
Yeah.
To be fair, my Xbox had been gathering dust for quite a while before that. Because all the games that I wanted to play were on Stadia at the time. But I mean, now that you've told me that It Takes Two is on Game Pass as well, I might have to fire that up. But I mean, I could also play it on my PC as well. So I think you were selling an Xbox recently or something, weren't you? And it was like,
yeah, I had actually come across one that I was able to get at a fairly low markup. I was actually able to work at a deal with my sister-in-law, who their family has been dying for an Xbox because their kids are like mega fans of Minecraft. So we're actually going to go meet up with them tomorrow. Yay!
I mean, I was seriously considering, like, if not
Yeah.
buying that one off you, then buying one myself. But
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, there's not really much of a need for me to do so at the moment. I know I wouldn't play it, so.
Well,
But yeah,
a lot of them are available for PC as well, so you just hook
exactly.
up your
Yeah,
PC to your TV, and you're fine.
yeah, absolutely. And what the great game streaming as well. You don't even need a powerful PC to play some of these games. So
Exactly.
the only thing that I don't like about Game Pass, and I don't know whether this, Spartacus will be doing the same thing, is rotating games in and out. Because I mean, it would suck if you were halfway through a game that you liked, and then one day you go to play it, and actually it's no longer on Game Pass, and you've got to buy it. So kind of
So
makes
one
you
of
think,
the
well, what's the point in paying the subscription then if that's all I wanted to play?
well, one of the benefits is that a lot of the main Xbox games haven't left. Like games that are
No, yeah.
cross-platform are usually the ones that end up leaving. Which kind of makes sense. Like they can't just keep offering it for free when the other platforms are making money. Oh, where was I going with this? But that's what it is. If you do download it, you actually get it for a significant discount if it does get removed from Game Pass. So at least you can get it for like $30 as opposed to like 60. So there is that, which I know isn't like a huge comfort, but at the same time, at least they're not like making people pay a full price if it's something that they have had.
Is that if you've played the game for a certain period of time, or just if you have Game Pass? Like,
just if you from what I know, from what I've seen, a game that I downloaded was at a discount. I don't know if it's just that it was on Game Pass, it becomes discounted in the store. I don't know if I had to download it in order to get the discount. That's something that I would need to look into. But also, none of the games that I've been wanting to play in Xbox Game Pass have been leaving Game Pass, so I'm not overly concerned or worried about it. But going off of that, Game Pass is like a huge, I don't know, it's just a really great deal. It's about $16 a month after taxes to get Game Pass Ultimate. Gives you a massive backlog. And it has new games coming every month. Some games even coming day and date. Like, so I paid $16 to play Infinite. And that's it. We played the game. We're done. We're good. So really, I got the game for only $16. And it's not necessarily replayable for either of us. So I just got it at a huge discount.
my only issue is, like, I mean, I'm the type of person that thinks, like, I mean, I'm not going to watch every single thing on Netflix, so why would I pay, you know what I mean, that amount of money every month to not watch 90% of the content on it? And I guess it's the same with Game Pass, is that you can only play one game at a time. And if you're heavily invested in one particular game, like, I mean, I was with Back 4 Blood, that's all I was playing on Game Pass at the time. Does it then justify the cost of paying £16 a month to play one game? Because, you know what I mean, if you play it for a certain amount of months, then you've paid the game off in full anyway, and you've got it to keep. But now you've got to keep paying to play it.
So from a business point of view, that's what they're banking on, is players like that who only go in for the one game.
Yeah.
But some people may feel that's justified, is for $16 a month, I'm endlessly entertained by this one game. And for some people, that's enough. Obviously it's very personal when it comes to that. Like, do you feel it's $16 a month worth? Sure. Or maybe you don't. But also most people aren't going to be playing just the one game. They'll at least be trying out some of the other ones, or replaying some of the previous ones. Yeah. let's do a little quick hello to some of the people who have also stopped in since then. We've had Victor, who asked a very hilarious question: who doesn't have a Google Play account?
I liked Mr.
Rooster,
Urban World's response to that.
yeah, Mr. Urban World saying Apple users, LOL. Rooster's popped in. We got Crow Resin who's popped in. We've got Ray, the best Wheel of Fortune partner. We got The Rock.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. We got Helix, and
which is actually one of our newest members of our team. It's Chris.
Oh yeah, it's Chris. Hey, Chris. See, I don't know people's YouTubes. I know Ray's because it's Ray. It's right there. And then Eli and
Eli, we tried to get Blue Bobs on today.
Yep, we asked Andrew if he could fill in for Lee, but he wasn't off until about half an hour from now, so it wasn't gonna work out.
We tried, but we will one day.
So we'll talk about the Google Play games change some other time. But for those, we're not going to delve into it. But for those who don't know, there has been a recent change made to Google Play games. It is now going to be Google Play games on PC, where they're taking all of their Android or their mobile games and they're putting it onto a website like Stadia for Windows users like Stadia, and they're doing all sorts of cool things, beta testing it like Stadia, and they're basically doing everything to Google
How
Play
can you
games
just skim over this, like,
and putting it onto the computer like Stadia, and they're not making it part of Stadia.
It's just Stadia with a green sticker. I mean,
it really is, and I'm so upset.
I know you didn't really want to go too much into it because
I guess we're gonna have to now.
But I want to kind of just tickle it a little bit. And that is, like, we've been talking about mobile games earlier, mobile touchscreen on Stadia and GFN and things like that.
And we've been talking about mobile games for months now, like for years, if not. Anyway, keep
exactly. Going. And I think what it is Stadia's. I think they're veering away from it a tiny bit, but in the beginning stages of Stadia, they basically said a game has to work on all types of devices. So it has to work on a TV with controller, has to work with mouse and keyboard, has to work on a mobile phone with touchscreen controls, blah, blah, blah. So in order for you to bring a game to Stadia, it has to meet all of those criteria. But what happens if you just said, you know what, get rid of that criteria, let's just take all of the games that we were going to put on Google Play Games and bring them to Stadia. And just it makes sure that people are aware that when you're playing these games, maybe put a big sticker across them or a big banner or an alert when you try to buy it, that this is meant for mobile. Yeah. It's meant for your mobile phone. It's not meant for a TV. It's not meant for a controller. It's not meant for a mouse and keyboard, unless it can be. Do you know what I mean? If it can be, if it's like, I don't know, for example, I mentioned Rocket League Sideswipe earlier. It's a mobile game, but you can plug a Razer Kishi into it. I mean, sometimes I plug my, I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, a similar sort of device.
Yeah.
And I play using that. And in some cases, it gives me the upper hand because I've actually got, you know what I mean? I've actually got an analog stick rather than pressing a screen that gives me no feedback. So if they could just, it just bewilders me a little bit. The first thing when I saw this announcement earlier was just why. I mean, if you look at the website, which I'm going to bring this website up on the screen just because I've got to get the right screen. Here we go. So it's pretty much just the Stadia website. I mean,
to be fair, game websites don't really change a whole lot. They're all kind of the same.
It goes from a phone.
Yep.
To a tablet.
Yep.
To a screen.
Yep.
It's like that bit. I think they've literally ripped that bit off the Stadia website.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a darker color and it's green now, and But it's just
And so I can't see asking a decent question about this is it cloud though? And I feel like with mobile games, they're so simple as compared to a regular game. There's no reason they couldn't be cloud.
I think the problem comes is would these games require the developers to go back to the drawing board and port them?
I don't know.
And if
But
so,
that's for
would it be
Google to figure
difficult for
out.
them to do so? Yeah, yeah, I guess. I mean, you got to think about it. I don't know how much. I know there's work involved in bringing a game to Stadia that exists already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite know whether there's much involved in GeForce Now, though, for example, because you're effectively just connecting to a computer somewhere and it's passing the input to the computers if you were playing it. So I dare say there's probably more of just a flick of a switch for GFN as opposed to back to the drawing board with the code with Stadia. But like you said, they're just simple mobile games. I'm sure it wouldn't take too much to go in and tinker with the code or even just flick a switch that says pass a mobile input through the cloud.
Exactly. Well, and I feel like, you know, what could have happened then was you got Stadia, but then you have Stadia Mobile. So then it only gives you mobile games. So like it's just kind of like 2 tabs or whatever, Stadia Mobile. And then much like there's Play Pass in the Google Play Store, you could have Stadia Pass. So then that kind of rolls into maybe like your Google One subscriptions or something like that. So like I have Pixel Pass, which is how I got my Pixel phone. And with it, I get Play Pass. I get the 200 gigabyte storage from the OneDrive or whatever it is, and like a few other different things. But like I've actually downloaded a few games for free from Play Pass. So I was like, oh, sure, I'll try it now. Now that it doesn't cost me $5 to even try the game. And then there you go. That's now another way of getting people to at least just try the platform for Pete's sake.
Now, here's the thing. Now, right, I'm gonna talk very loosely here because I haven't actually researched it too much. But there was an app, or there's been a few apps that I've seen on the Google Play Store where you don't actually need to install the app on your phone. You can literally just press open and it opens, and you don't need to install it. It doesn't take up storage other than, you know what I mean, a few kilobytes or whatever. I dare say in order for those to work, they would need to be sort of cloud-based as well, because you're effectively just, I mean, if you're not installing it, where's it come from? I shall have to do some digging to see if I can find this app that I found. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. But surely a similar thing could happen with the games as well. I mean, this was more of a work app, like Microsoft Word, for example. It wasn't that, but something along those lines that you would use for work. So I'm sure the same technology could probably be used for games as well. But I'll find out more.
Well, they just need to get on the game, literally, and start putting things together.
Do you think this could be building blocks for a merge between the two? Let's kind of build them up and then one day just decide actually we're going to just merge them and call it Stadia.
I think it's them realizing that mobile games are pretty popular, like super popular right now. So they're like, oh, well, we're just going to make Google Play games, you know, a little bit bigger or something. And we'll just pretend the other stuff doesn't exist. I don't know.
But you've got to assume that there was someone sat in a boardroom that's had exactly the same conversation.
Yeah, like the one person who's like, why don't we just put it on Stadia? They chucked him out the window.
Yeah, that meme, yeah.
So before we delve into our hot topic tonight, we do want to give a shout out to our supporters on YouTube and Patreon. In our Patreon Platinum tier, we have Giovanni, and our gold supporters include our very own Dan and Vet Gaming. In the silver group is our live stream manager, Andrew. Thanks, guys. And a thank you to anybody who's a bronze member and those who donate on our coffee platform. It does mean a lot to us that you guys are willing to give monetary support for the things that we do. All of that money is going back into making sure we keep our websites up, make sure we get our certificates in order. Basically, everything that we do to make these shows possible for you, that's where this money is going. StreamYard, everything. We hope that you guys can recognize that your money is being put towards good use, and we do sincerely appreciate it. Hot topic. We're going to need to run through this really quick because I'm trying to keep things at 45 minutes now that I'm the host. Plus, dinner's cooking right now, and I want to go eat. Xbox has officially announced the purchase of Activision Blizzard. It was a nutty morning on Twitter with the commitment to, quote, our journey for inclusion in every aspect of gaming. We hold all games to this commitment, and we're looking forward to extending our culture of proactive inclusion to the great teams across Activision Blizzard. Basically, we're going to give them a huge knock around to make sure that they straighten up. In the last 2 years, Microsoft has purchased Bethesda, put EA Play into Game Pass, bought Ubisoft Plus, brought Ubisoft Plus to consoles, launched and upgraded xCloud, and now it's purchased Activision Blizzard. Whew! Here's some interesting tidbits about this information too. Normally, when a company, when a studio, when a developer is being bought, you buy them out for usually more like 3 or 4 times what they're actually currently worth. It's kind of future-proofing that income that the person would have received. So, like, let's say they're worth $50 billion. They may have been paid more around $200 billion because they're like, that's what I would have made over the course of the year. So that's what you owe me. If you want this, you have to pay me that. Activision Blizzard was bought for almost the same cost of what it's worth. That's kind of a big blow and kind of nutty, which, by the way, guys, wrote up an article. It's my second article. Wrote up an article. It's on stadiasource.com. Go check it out about this. Yay. Wow. And they even posted up at like 8:30 in the morning, which was when everybody here in the US is starting to do their research for their daily trading. So everybody was probably like, crap, trading news. And it came out of left field. Nobody in the regular landscape of video gaming knew this was coming. I bet you news outlets probably knew. They didn't tell us, of course. But news outlets probably knew because they needed to prep their articles. But man, this was on the hush hush. This was on the way down low. Not a single, nobody thought this was coming. Dan, how did you react? I was on Twitter for like hours. I was like, what is going on?
My reaction was more like I was scrolling through Twitter and it was Xbox have bought Activision, Xbox. I was like, I'd quite like to read some other news on Twitter. But I mean, yeah, I have mixed feelings about it, to be fair. I feel like I say this on every single podcast, but I used to be a big Xbox guy. I used to run a website that was about Xbox. And
yes, you did.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do always have a bit of a sweet spot for Microsoft and Xbox, I guess. But then part of me just thinks, this isn't going to bode well for the likes of like Stadia, for example. And I think I've probably said it again on a previous podcast. I don't like the idea of exclusivity. And whilst I don't think for a second that they would take some of the big titles that they've acquired, such as Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and things like that, I don't think that they would be stupid enough to just say, right, this is an Xbox-only title now. Because they would probably make far more money from keeping it cross-platform. Not cross-platform, but available on all these different platforms as well. But they're likely to take some of those games and just make them. It wouldn't surprise me if the next Crash Bandicoot was purely just on Xbox, for example, and nothing else. I mean, that to me, I don't like exclusivity because I've said it before. To me, it's anti-consumer. to say to someone that you can't play this game unless you own our console or you're subscribed to our service. I guess cloud gaming has made this less of an issue. For example, if I don't own the new Xbox, I might have a PC and I might be able to still play if it's on cloud gaming or if it's on Game Pass on PC, for example. So it's not fully, you know what I mean, exclusive in that respect.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like saying if a game came exclusively to Stadia, well, as long as you've got a PC or a mobile or a Chromecast or a TV with, you know what I mean, then technically you have that console.
Mm-hmm.
But to go out and like, I've been really wanting to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Bless you.
Thank you.
I've really wanted to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I refused to go out and buy a PlayStation just for that game. So the thought of a game that I enjoy, you know what I mean, just staying on Xbox and then people on PlayStation, for example, on now can't enjoy that game. To me, it just seems like game companies like this, I mean, I think Phil Spencer says it, we're putting gamers first. We're putting gamers at the heart of everything we do. It's like, well, you're not. You're just putting Xbox gamers at the heart of everything you do.
So kind of, sort of, yes, kind of, sort of, no. But hang on, before we move on, thank you, Geek.
Ooh,
Welcome to Silver memberships. We love you and love having you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil Spencer has actually acknowledged some of these exclusivity concerns. He posted up, and I'm going to also share screen. Chrome tab window. How about there you go. Share. Boo. So he has said, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship.
But that's just Call of Duty, though.
Yes. That seems to actually be the one that people care about the most. I haven't seen a whole lot of tweets going out about, like, Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that.
You wait until Jem finds out if they do.
You wait until Jem finds. Yeah. And another fun one to kind of go off of all of this is there are now the questions about what else is available to buy. And I can tell you that Google should have bought some of these 5 months ago.
They're going to get a strongly worded letter from Scarlett.
Yes, they are. They shut down SG&E, which is fine. If you can't make good bread, stop trying to make bread. But find another baker and buy his dang shop and make him make the bread for you. So, Google, take your pick like your top 5 and buy them all. You have the money.
Including Sega, so we can get Sonic Mania finally.
Yes, this is going in my letter too. Dan needs Sonic on Stadia. That's gonna be like the header, okay?
And I can die happy.
Yes. So, Jeff Keighley, I have no idea who this guy is. A lot of you people do. So, Jeff Keighley,
you know him from the Game Awards. Surely you've seen them.
Oh, yeah. I don't really watch them. I watched for the trailers and
they're like 4 a.m. in the morning here, so I'm surprised I've even ever watched them.
So he made a handy dandy list of who remains in the market. So you got EA, we got Take-Two, we've got Ubisoft, we got Square Enix. And a lot of these, you get Sega, Capcom, Square Enix, Konami, and Ubisoft. And these right here are already like still less than.
I mean, Sega's the cheapest one. Sonic Mania, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No brainer.
You could get all 5 of these and still have money left over. Google, go root around your stinking couches or something. There were a couple of funny tweets in here about how Google needs to like buy Sony, and I was like, that's not how this works. You don't just buy Sony.
Buy
That's like,
Xbox while you're at it.
yeah, no, buy Microsoft while you're at it. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is there's that hierarchy that I think people are forgetting about. Sony is the top level of that. Sony, Microsoft, Disney, Alphabet, like, people need to remember the hierarchy in this. They're like, no, Sony's totally viable. I'm like, guys, come on. Anyway,
Sony don't
I
just make
think,
the PlayStation though, do they? That's the thing. They
what?
have a whole array. They don't just make PlayStation. They make
Oh,
TVs.
yeah.
They make
But
hi-fis.
Microsoft doesn't just make Xbox. They
Exactly.
make computers and, everything else. So I can understand the exclusivity issues that you have. I think it creates good competition. Similar in the way that, Tesla is kind of the king of electric vehicles. So now everybody else is like, oh crap, we need electric vehicles. PlayStation, I feel, has some of the best story games available, and most of them are exclusives. And I think that will start to kind of push these other places. So maybe that's partly why Microsoft Xbox purchased Bethesda. Bethesda actually has some really good story games. Really would like to see this happen, but Google.
That's the thing
This
you
needed
say
to be
about it
announced yesterday.
breeding competition. It's yes, you're right, but only if you're willing to actually compete. And in order to
Well,
stay
Xbox
in
and
the
PlayStation are
competition,
willing to compete.
exactly, and Google, in order to stay in the competition, need to actually compete instead of
And
just.
granted, Google's competition is really more Luna and GFN. And Luna's own game studios haven't done great, and GFN doesn't make games. So maybe they feel like we don't have a competition. But when you're trying to replace the consoles with cloud gaming, you need to make the consoles your competition. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's
it's
my
all good for Microsoft, all good for Xbox. Fair play to them.
Yeah. Well, once we get PlayStation Spartacus Pass live now, things will start heading in a different direction. Any further thoughts, Dan, before we close out?
I mean, the only thing that's kind of nothing related to what we were just talking about, but I just want to kind of say it anywhere, is obviously we've got our first actual game of 2022 today on Stadia, in the form of Rainbow Six Extraction.
Yes, that's right.
So I think we got one extra game announcement today, which is on stadiasource.com, your number one source for Stadia news reviews.
Your number one source for all things Stadia?
Yeah, that one. Elemental War 2 is apparently coming to Stadia. Hey, you did it for me.
I did.
Yeah, so this was kind of announced today, but I'm just kind of panicking a little bit about the roadmap for Stadia. Yeah, I don't want to go too far into it because I know we're kind of short on time at the moment, but all I want to say is we need to kind of hear something sooner rather than later. I mean, we've kind of got a semi roadmap of about 5 or 6 games that we know the actual release date for, or that we know are definitely coming in 2022, but we need to hear something because I don't think their first community blog of the year was very informative in that respect.
It had a lot of back news
that we already posted the week before.
Yeah. I actually managed to post on it, and so now I've got so I haven't immediately subscribed to anything that I post on, and so that I got a flood of emails afterwards. It's like somebody else posted, and I got a lot of kudos too, so I felt pretty good about that. But
Take to the bank.
And one thing I think the struggle is that roadmaps are really rather internal type memos that go around, but there is a way to externalize that memo, make it a fancy graphic, and just say, here. And I guarantee you 95% of the Stadia fans would be like, yes, and would be happy. So somebody needs to just make that graphic. Hire me to make your graphics. I will agree to be paid in Google Play credit. All right, well, let's wrap this up. We're about 10 minutes over, but hey, that's pretty good. We're back at it. We're getting into a flow, and I've loved every minute of it. So thank you, everybody who has joined us here live, and also thank you to those who are listening via podcast at your favorite podcast app. Please find all of our links, such as where to follow us on Twitter, and more in the description below. Hosting has been generously provided by Rock. If your business is looking for a tech powerhouse to launch the next big app, or if you want to implement some cutting-edge AI, or simply need the best web development money can buy, check out all the services provided by rock.co.uk. And if you haven't already, please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell to be notified whenever we go live or post a new video. And also, don't forget that there is joining. Thank you again to Geek. We appreciate you. And we so appreciate everybody who has stuck around with us, even when there is a massive hiatus for the roundtable. It means the world that you were still willing to be here and support us. Get a little bit of a dry throat now. I'm getting emotional. You guys mean the world to me. And Patreon. Check out our Patreon as well. Again, all of those links down in the description below. I have been your host, Scarlett, and on behalf of Gaming Source Network, your #1 source for all things gaming, thank you for joining me and Dan on the GSM Roundtable. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.